Hello. What's going on, everyone? My name is Bill. Welcome to KO Bets. This is a show dedicated to just discussing UFC related events. So this week we're reviewing UFC Fight Night Cannonier versus Gastelum. Took place this past Saturday. So we're just going to kind of go through the fights. I'll talk about what I thought was interesting in the fights, and then we'll also highlight the bets, which is kind of what the channel's dedicated to, right? Is to explore the odds, make picks, make prop bets, and hopefully, do it pretty accurately. So, like I said, it was UFC Fight Night. We had Cannonier against Gastelum for the main event. On moneyline picks, we did pretty good, going 9-2. Had a few slip-ups there, and then on prop picks, we went 7-2. Got over super late in Chicago here. I want to say it was like 12:30 or something like that. It was just crazy late. I mean, it's not uncommon for UFC events, but it was pretty late. So I've done some new things with the video today. I actually downloaded something called OBS, and I'm using that for, it's like a production thing, so it'll look a little bit better here. My girlfriend, she got me this nice ring light, so I can like change the different colors, make it brighter, dimmer. So just, adding some production tools. And it should improve as we go along here. I didn't have too much time to mess around in this tool. Today I went to work. Everything was good, but just had to work during the day. So I, only had an hour or so to mess around with this thing, but I've done some pretty cool stuff with the stream. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, subscribing to the channel, feel free to comment. Love to hear from you. As a matter of fact, if you have a favorite fighter, go ahead and drop them in the comments right now. I'll go ahead and do the same before we get started. There we go. So without further ado, UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Gastelum. So cool. So we had 12 fights, I think, on the night. Yeah, 12 total. We'll go through them all here. First, starting with the prelims, working our way towards the main event. In the first fight, we had Sasha Palatnikov against Rahim Brahimovic. We chose Ramiz to win. He had minus 145 odds at the time of making the stream. We also picked a Ramiz via submission or decision at minus 125 odds. I'm not sure what that improved to, but took away a win there, which was very cool. Round 1 submission. I missed this fight. I actually tuned in on the next fight. This fight just got over so quickly that I wasn't able to tune in, but things worked out in our favor. In the next bout, we had Roosevelt Roberts against Ignacio Bahamondes. I chose Roosevelt Roberts. It just seemed like, even though Ignacio got hit with some stuff and was bleeding pretty bad, it just seemed like he was the better fighter. He put together, obviously, a nice fight, and then the KO at the end there, it was just an unbelievable spin heel kick. So Didn't win my prop bet, which would have been a Robert submission. That just didn't come to fruition. So, great fight from Ignacio Bahamondes. I want to say, he for sure dominated. I don't think Roberts didn't get him down at all. I kind of want to see, was this his, I'm trying to see what fight this was for him in the UFC. He's a nice fighter. So yeah, this is only his second fight for the promotion. So definitely someone to watch moving forward. In the next bout, we had William Knight against Fabio Cherant. William Knight we chose on our moneyline pick at -165. Really liked this fight to end inside the distance. So that was a prop bet that I nominated, but that was -225 odds. So if you liked a particular fighter, you were just better off probably making that 50-50 pick. William Knight scores the round 1 knockout. You could have gotten him at +120 for that knockout. That was another bet I threw out there. So really quick finish. The guys were throwing hard. I think, let's see if I have any interesting stats. Okay, so for William Knight, 2 out of his now 12 fights have gone to decision. The rest have been finishes. And then for Fabio Cherant, he's only had 2 fights go the distance. Now in 10 fights, 2 out of 10 fights, he's not made it, to a decision. So it just was playing the trends. It seemed pretty likely that one of these 2 guys were going to finish each other, but anything could happen. There were a couple of other fights on this that I definitely felt that way about, specifically the Parker Porter against Chase Sherman fight, and it obviously didn't happen. So in the next fight, we had Bay Malecki against Josiane Nunez. We took Malecki at -155 odds. And I also liked for this fight to not go the distance at +100 odds. Now in Bay's career, is it Baya or I don't know. Yeah, I guess Bay would be B-A-E. Bia? Bay. B. Bia. Call her Bia. So now in her career, only 5 fights. She's 5-0. Only one of those has gone the distance. Really liked her reach advantage. Both were very active fighters here, and then Bia just caught Nunez. Nunez was making her debut. For her now, only 2 of 9 fights have gone to a decision. So again, it was just, the prop bet there is just playing trends. This one I was a big Brian Kelleher fan. Definitely picked him to win the fight. He was at -170 odds. I thought he was going to knock out Pilarte. That didn't happen. I didn't think the fight would go the distance, so those were the 2 prop bets that I nominated. Unfortunately, neither of those, Brian couldn't get the finish, but he put together a really good fight. Unanimous decision. His takedowns were pretty impressive. Just a really solid performance from Brian Kelleher. In the next fight, we had Austin Lingo against Luis Saldana. I picked Luis Saldana to win this fight. Austin Lingo scored the unanimous decision. I think Luis Saldana took the first round, and then we just saw him gas out. And then Austin took over the fight. So, this was the second career fight for Luis Saldana that had ended inside the distance. I didn't think this would go to to a decision, but it happened. And Austin Lingo plus 100 odds. Congrats if you took him. Just really kept a really solid pace, kept pushing forward, was eating shots. And Saldana, he's a good fighter. He just gasses out. I don't know how else to describe it. He got out of the first round. I thought clearly won the first round, and then didn't win, clearly lost the next two. In the next bout, we had Alexandre Pantoja against Brandon Royval. I really liked Alexander in this. I was surprised that he submitted Brandon Royval, considering Brandon's got quite a few submission wins on his resume. So it was just kind of surprising that, such a good submission artist got submitted, but it happens. Got the round 2 submission. Both of these guys have fought Moreno. Alexandre, he called out Moreno after this. He does have a win over him. I think he said he had 2, but I'm pretty sure it was just 1 that I saw on his record, but maybe it was more than 1. So really good performance. We chose Alexandre at minus 170 odds. I scribbled out my parlays, it looks like, that night. I think we said, I just wasn't confident on whether it was going to go end inside the distance or go to a decision. So I don't think I shared any parlays, not parlays, prop bets for this bout. In the next fight, we had Vince Pichel against Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard looked really good. I thought he looked really good, especially in the earlier rounds. And then Vince Pichel, just really unorthodox style. That was who I picked, and we had him at minus 115 odds. We also bet that the fight would go the distance, minus 250 odds. Ended up getting the unanimous decision. It seemed like when Pichel got taken down, he was active in the guard. It seemed like he got up right away, couldn't be held down. Nothing Hubbard threw at him, outside of the first rounds appeared to be very effective at all. So good win for Vince. I think he called out Gillespie, but he also recognizes the fact that maybe he needs to get a win or 2 under his belt before he goes back over there. In the next bout, we had Trevin Jones against Said Yokub Kakramov. We chose Said at plus 125 odds. He was making his debut. He's from Uzbekistan, and someone mentioned he had family in Rockford, Illinois, which is pretty cool. I was super impressed with Said. Trevin Jones seemed like more of a calculated fighter, and Said just, I don't know, he looked substantially better than Trevin Jones. I did not think the fight would go the distance, and I thought it would go over 1.5 rounds, so definitely the third round submission was big. So the over-under 1.5 rounds, I think, was minus 155 odds at the time of recording the video. But I don't know. He was entertaining to watch. He was, Trevin Jones would just kind of lean on him on the fence. He was super active, pushed a good pace, seemed strong on his feet and on the ground. Just really impressive debut for Saeed. Big fan. In the next fight, we had Parker Porter against Chase Sherman, a couple of heavyweights. I definitely thought that this fight was not going to go the distance. Chase Sherman, like some other fights on this card, looked very good, I thought, in the first round, and then just faded super hard, was huffing and puffing, gasping for air. Parker Porter, really tough dude, ate a lot of shots, obviously was real effective closing the reach advantage and distance. I don't know if they probably don't have that, but Parker Porter's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. It was an entertaining fight. Was really cheering for a finish. I personally put a small amount of money on the fight to end inside the distance. That didn't happen, so but it was a really good fight from Parker Porter. He kind of looks like he wears like eyeliner too. Like he's in like some sort of rock band. Yeah, he definitely, let me know if you saw that, but he definitely had something going on. Maybe it was just a little blood or something, but I thought he looked like he had eyeliner on or something. Wouldn't that be amazing if the UFC was like giving them makeup in the back before their fights? They're like, you're gonna look amazing, and that's what they did for all their fighters. That'd be incredible. Then the ring person just smears Vaseline over their face. All right. Oh, next fight. Clay Guida against Mark Madsen. We picked Mark Madsen in this fight, and we also picked the decision. Mark Madsen was super impressive, but I was also, Clay Guida, he hung in there. He was still there in the third round, and definitely was able to take advantage of the later rounds against Mark Madsen. So we got minus 200 odds for the fight to go the distance, and Mark Madsen was at minus 160. Madsen should, he's obviously gone through a lot of personal stuff that he was very open about, transparent, and discussed very cordially with the media, just in regards to his wife, his age, and, it seems like he's, if he's gonna go after a belt, he's got to do it now. So just keep stringing together the wins, get a top 10 matchup, get a top 5 matchup, and you're right there in the discussion. So good for him. Definitely, surprised me a little bit with his effectiveness on the feet, but he's, what is he, Greco-Roman Olympic wrestler? Was definitely expecting more than one takedown attempt. So, just kind of interesting, but put together a really nice fight. Took the split decision win. So, it was a very close fight. And then in the main event, we had Jared Cannonier against Kelvin Gastelum. I chose Jared Cannonier, but I didn't feel good about taking him. I wasn't sure how he'd look in the later rounds. Took him at minus 145 odds. One thing we knew coming into the fight was that, Kelvin, he wasn't going to get knocked out. He did get knocked down, but he didn't get knocked out. I thought the fight played out how I thought it would. I thought Jared Cannonier would knock down Gastelum once or twice. I did think Cannonier was capable of winning a decision, but we've seen Calvin in 5-round fights against Adesanya, against I can't even think off the top of my head who we've seen him in fights with recently that have gone 5 rounds and made events. Yeah, Whitaker. I thought Whitaker was one of them. So we've seen him do it, and he doesn't get knocked out. It's just not happening. So it was a little bit hard to visualize Cannonier going out there getting the decision win against someone who has that experience, but he was able to do it. I thought he took the first round, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So it was weird coaching. I thought coming out of both corners where, at the end of the third, it was a close fight, where both corners were telling him, they've taken 2 out of 3 rounds. So it was a little bit strange, I thought. I did think, he had 8 attempts. I was a little bit worried about Gastelum, securing a couple takedowns throughout the fight to, take a round or two. But, it was not to be. Cannonier was super good at, staying off of his back. And something, I put out there was, I was very confident it would be a decision win. So something we put out there was, you could have gotten plus 275 odds on a Cannonier decision. You could have gotten plus 250 on a Calvin decision. You could have bet on them both, and no matter the result, you would have been walking away with money, which is pretty cool. Providing someone didn't get knocked out. And it is a 5-round fight, and it is nerve-wracking. So, fight to go the distance was minus 105 odds. So there were some solid things we put out there. We'll see what happens with Cannonier. It doesn't seem like he's going to wait around for Adesanya to fight Whitaker again. He's probably going to take another fight, which is good for him. Stay sharp, and then he'll get an opportunity, especially if he wins. Calvin Gastelum, I don't think this hurts his maybe he went down in the standings, but I don't think this really negatively impacts his his resume at all. It's insane. Cannonier, Whitaker, Heinich, Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, Adesanya, Jacare Souza, Michael Bisping, Chris Weidman, Victor Belfort. Yeah, just an absolute crazy resume, in my opinion. Tyrone, Hendricks. That's nuts. Beat Uriah Hall for the Ultimate Fighter Championship. That's crazy. Alright, so for next week, I'll hop on Friday at 7 p.m. or around there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that. I'll definitely tweet out a link to the show. And then we got a comment. She loves Conor McGregor. Me too. Me too. For next week we got Barboza against Shikadze. Shikadze? I'll try and look up a phonetic pronunciation of that, but Shikadze. So we'll review that fight on Friday. I'll make some picks, offer up some prop bets, give you some insight into this beautiful brain. All right, everyone. Have a good night. I appreciate you stopping in. Crystal, Conor McGregor is my favorite. He's incredible and crazy enough to put on a good show. So let's hope that leg heals soon. Let's hope. Let's hope. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get notified when I go on live. Feel free to comment. Like I said, comment